All right, hello everyone. Today I want to go through an actual protocol with you. I've made videos here in the past that I gave hypothetical protocols that I just made up. But I want to take you through what I would see on a daily basis. This is what I would call a chart. We've given them a questionnaire, they've answered it. The whole sales process led to this point. We put out all this information, we answer people's questions and concerns and objections sometimes, but now we've got their health information. In other words, the problem. We've got the problem here. Sales is about solving problems. So now we can see the problem and I can give a recommendation. So I'm going to go through this with you. This is not a whole case study, like results included. This is just answering the question of what do I do to start? Because to me, starting is the most important thing. And if we can get that right, we probably got a customer for life and their life probably changes, or else why would they be a customer of ours? So first of all, she's excited. Thank you for taking your time. Awesome. She's 47 years old. This does matter physically, but mostly it helps me know who I'm talking to. If you were sitting in front of a 16-year-old, you would speak to them differently than a 60-year-old. And actually, the more general information I have about their lifestyle, the better for me to form a proposition for them. Proposition is, if you do this, then you can expect this, because of the information that they saw at the beginning of this process. They saw Dr. Wallach or myself or somebody they know did and sent it to them. Who knows? They saw the because already, and now the proposition is, if you do this, then you can expect this. So 5'6", average height woman, 165 pounds. That to me sounds overweight. Yep, heaviest she's been besides being pregnant. Notice I don't do any diagnosing. I ask for the diagnosis. Have you been diagnosed before? Do you have any symptoms? She says weight gain, no energy, brain fog, no memory. All in the same category here. I'm going to call it a fatty nutrient deficiency. The good fats, vitamins D, E, A, and K, cholesterol, the omegas 3, 6, 9. And all their related nutrients spreading out into the spiderweb map of the 90 essential nutrients that all work together in some way. But fatty nutrient problem jumps right off the page. Next clue, rosacea, bingo, gluten intolerance. Now you can't get a problem from gluten intolerance unless you eat gluten, but pretty much everyone in America here eats gluten. And actually every country, wouldn't really matter. But USA has no shipping problems. All of our products are available there, so everything I could possibly recommend is available in America. It's definitely one thing to note, and they don't have to pay any extra fees or anything. They use their own currency. Definitely the easiest customers in the world are from America. Our value proposition is highest. Of course, everybody wants their health back, but when you can pay the least amount of money for it, it's easiest for you. Okay, this is a big word here, but in 2006, hopefully this is not an active problem. Either way, it looks already like we have to start with the digestion. I already know that. This jumps right off the page. As soon as I deduce that the person is overweight, that's going to be the focus of the program. To start with, month 1, we need to work on this. Month 1, this rosacea can go away. She's not that overweight. Month 1, weight can start to be lost, but usually weight loss doesn't really start happening until about week 3 at the earliest, just in my experience. Everybody's a little bit different, but it tends to take at least a few weeks to get the ball rolling. Same with energy, brain fog, no memory. May even get worse before it gets better. It's an actual possibility when quitting gluten, which is going to be key recommendation here. Obviously, got rosacea. I say sometimes that the food isn't as big of a problem with some types of problems, such as osteoporosis. A lot of people don't go gluten-free, and it's true that a lot of times the products actually just work. They help the person get their bone density back, and they didn't go gluten-free. But somebody with this list of metabolic problems to start off with, this is the first thing I saw, metabolic problems, they're going to have to go gluten-free to get a real result. Wisdom tooth removed is not a big deal. People tell us about every surgery they ever had. A mole removed in 1989, it doesn't matter to me. But it's good to know these things. And it's good when you see a person who gives you lots of detailed information. It tells you they're a more conscientious person. Some people just give us a few lines with a I don't really care attitude, and if they don't say much, it's hard for me to say much too. And it's not like you need a longer proposition, but it's nice to have more to work with. On both ends, people who are more involved in their health, they do have more questions. They'll have more questions for the doctor. They'll have more questions for anybody that they're working with, most likely. So they're not on any drugs. That's fantastic. This line can really stop us and cause a lot of conversation to happen depending on how many things are in this chemical drug category. She's got none. Sweet. They take any supplements and herbs. Iodine, to me that's totally fine, if not good. Magnesium. Magnesium is one of the only supplements we recommend stop taking, and I will show you that in my answers below. But This is how I would read it. They avoid any foods. This is important. Sometimes people say, oh, I would avoid all kinds of things. Usually that leads me to believe they have a chronic underlying digestion problem, and that's why they're reacting to all types of foods. Or you have somebody who's really conscientious, or, for lack of a better word, paranoid. There's people who do so much homework that they have 50 foods in their avoid list. So this information might let you know more about who you're dealing with. But of course, I want to know about sensitivities or allergies, especially to shellfish, because some of our products have shellfish, and we do have products that are specifically shellfish free. So I need to know about that. But she tells me she was told she has a high sensitivity to gluten. Well, that's fantastic, because we would tell you to avoid gluten whether you know you have a sensitivity or not, or whether you even can prove you have a sensitivity or not. We just don't care. Treat everybody like they're gluten intolerant. Dairy, eggs. This will probably go away when she fixes her digestion. It's in my answer below as well. She just began eating like a carnivore 2 weeks ago to get all the dairy and gluten out of the system. Okay, well, that's okay. Chemistry can be complicated of why I wouldn't exactly recommend carnivore, but we're not going to cover that right now. She's only 2 weeks into that too. People who are playing around with the diets, that's good. It shows me that she's trying to fix it. She's trying to lose the weight. Mainly, it's probably the main reason she's doing this, and that's okay. She probably actually will lose some weight on this. It's just long-term, this is a problem. It creates new mineral needs. You need to supplement even more, basically, if you're going to be a carnivore. But many people don't last that long on these types of diets. Hopefully they do get a result with them. It doesn't matter to us. We can work with food with her over the long term. I don't think she's married to this diet if she's just trying it to lose weight, right? So we can talk about that later. And she's already on the way to being gluten-free, so that's fantastic. 2 weeks gluten-free. I don't really call you gluten-free yet. You're probably still inflamed, but she's in a really great position to start now. I'm really happy with that. Told to have rosacea. Yep, rosacea, you can see it across the room. Tells you the person has a gluten intolerance or some unspecified digestion problem, but it's probably gluten that's causing it. It could be some other food allergy or intolerance. It's just probably gluten. Okay, the red nose, in other words, lack of circulation to the nose and feet, all this stuff, cold hands, feet, thyroid, low blood sugar, both are provoked or caused or exacerbated by this metabolic problem that we know is going on. So I'm actually going to ignore it for right now. I explain that in my answers below. Spider veins is a completely unrelated nutrient deficiency. I cover that below because we're almost done here. I'll get to that. Of course, feels I have digestion problems all the time, stomach pains, gas, bloated, all just common digestion problem symptoms. Probably the gluten causing the bulk of it. Now, actually, I should have told her, because I didn't zero in on this carnivore thing. In my answer that I already gave, I already sent it in an email and just pasted it in here so that it's private. I should have told her she's going to need a lot more salt than she ever thought was possible eating carnivore. Eating cooked meat requires a lot of salt, so I'm imagining she's already low on salt. She told me she has stomach pains and stuff. I did give her the salt flush, but I should have emphasized that even more. Maybe she watches this video. Okay, sleep problems, falls asleep easily, but usually wakes up at night. If you wake up at night, especially to urinate, that's a sign of a blood sugar problem. So is clenching the teeth. So she wears a mouth guard, exact same category, but again, starting with a metabolic problem, let's work on the digestion first. And this will probably start to improve right away, actually, not like the first day, but within the first few weeks, definitely. I expect that to at least ease down a bit. Hot at night and sweating, same thing. Hopefully she's not swearing at night. Hopefully that's the typo. Not C-section, nothing to say about that. Not pregnant, nothing to say about that. Doesn't drink carbonated good, nothing to say about that. Energy drinks. Well, it was drinking coffee, just stopped coffee. She went full board here doing carnivore and no coffee. She's in. No energy drinks. Okay, great. Did not get a picture of the fingernails or toenails. If I did, I missed it. She loves pizza, bread. Trying not to eat it now. Okay. Anything else I should know? This is an important question. And actually, you might not think this is an important question. What's their favorite food? But I really like that question. It wasn't always on there. My esteemed colleague, LaShawn, put this question on the list, and I loved it because it tells us so much about them. And as you'll see in my answers, it gives me an opportunity to say how you can actually have these foods in a more healthy way. Not gluten, of course. And anything else I should know about, a lot of times you get a real good overview here. And when they have a lot going on, people don't really understand it. So a lot of times they'll give you a lot more history and context down here in this section. And I actually took a little bit out here because I'm not trying to identify this person. There's no personal information. And just some of the comments here just kind of gives you guys too much information. But she said she's been gaining weight steadily and her menstruation is off here. Okay, that's a common consequence of metabolic problem. So not too concerned about this. So she's broken her tailbone 2 times. we're going to be topping her up on nutrients anyways, strengthening her bones, regardless of if they've been broken before or not. Concussions. Okay, so it would actually be the same recommendation for concussion as it would be to just be healthy in general. Actually, it's going to be the same recommendation. So these are my answers. I changed her name. I just made up her name. Apologies for the late response. Oh, I've been giving that apology a lot lately. We've been busy. Times are good in the health business, actually, but that means some late responses. Okay, so weight, digestion, this is definitely our starting point. It's written exactly like I would say it. I said iodine is fine and good. Magnesium is one of the only supplements we'd recommend stop taking completely. And I'm reading you my exact words so that you would know exactly how I would answer this. Taking magnesium by itself increases calcium deficiency. Didn't go into more details. It does get complicated. She doesn't need that. I already have a lot to say here. So just giving an overview, trying to tie things together. And I don't want them taking magnesium. It really is one of the only things I recommend not taking. I don't care if they're on a whole bunch of other products. Usually I say just keep taking them until they're finished, especially if I'm starting them on a digestion protocol, because it's not going to interfere with it. They already have some supplements. That's fantastic. They might not be the best in the world, but magnesium can actually cause a problem by itself. And there's a lot of people out there saying the opposite. That's why so many people are taking magnesium. You don't have to single this out. You could say you can keep taking your magnesium until it's finished. I know people don't like throwing things out, and most of them probably do finish it anyways. But I want them to know that we're serious. I'm serious about magnesium products on their own. They do increase calcium deficiency. I want to help the person get better. This needs to be addressed. Throw the magnesium away, in my opinion. I said we put them together and with their partner nutrients. I misspelled that. I did this on my phone. I apologize. We're going to recommend gluten-free for life, even without a sensitivity. Hey, that's exactly what I said above. It's key to most health solutions. In your case, definitely, this is one of the main causes of your overall condition. I completely agree with myself here. This gluten problem, if she doesn't go gluten-free, and she's already started, but if she doesn't stay gluten-free, I just don't expect her to get the results. Most likely, any egg sensitivity will go away just by correcting the digestion. On my second read there, I saw she mentioned dairy either. It would be the same thing. If she's sensitive to dairy and eggs, that will probably go away just by correcting the digestion. So that's already where we're starting. Did I spell rosacea wrong? Or no, my thing just doesn't recognize the word. Rosacea is caused by gluten intolerance. I think she already kind of knew that, but I'm just putting that in. Rosacea is caused by gluten intolerance. We act as if everyone is gluten intolerant, but rosacea is a definite clue. It's a definite clue of how much benefit you will get by eliminating gluten. So rather than just repeat myself here and say, oh, it's another sign of gluten intolerance, I actually said it was a clue of how much benefit. So I'm already forming the proposition. So I said it's a clue of how much benefit you'll get by eliminating gluten, rather than just saying this is another sign of gluten intolerance. And I did address the coldness. The coldness is blood sugar and thyroid. Actually, it could be either. Who knows? She's got a metabolic problem, so both of these systems are likely to be thrown off by that either way, even though different deficiencies can cause both problems. I'm assuming the metabolic problem is causing pretty catastrophic deficiencies all over the place, and you see it here. I said we will reevaluate halfway through month 1. I'm trying to be as clear on this as I can. I do want people to reach out every 2 weeks. It's a reasonable time. Don't need to talk every day, but if they're trying to change food habits and stuff, usually they need the most help at the beginning, and that's okay. We want to get them off to a good start. This whole video is about starting. So I've already told them what's next, even after the purchase or the start of the protocol, which she has actually already started because she's already gone gluten-free 2 weeks ago. We will reevaluate in 2 weeks and see if blood sugar or thyroid need to be supported specifically. This is because I'm not recommending the 90 essential nutrients yet. I'm recommending digestion products. I want to know if she's getting a quick result in this. Well, maybe I don't need to throw the extra support at that problem. Maybe I do need to on one of them. I'm not sure. Just saying. Check back in with me. Spider veins is a completely different deficiency. And I already know this is getting long at this point. It's actually not that long. This video is kind of long, but this is a long email, especially in this day and age. So I don't want to overload people. I don't want to go into the deficiencies that's causing spider veins or could cause spider veins. And I know that anybody overweight is likely to have spider veins at one point. Eventually, they're going to have them. Probably most people who are overweight. Skinny people can have them too. It's just probably when they lose the weight, the spider veins will go away. So maybe I don't even need to talk about this. I said in order to absorb all of these nutrients, we need to work on digestion first. Bringing it back to my point. This is actually my proposition too. My proposition is to start with digestion. Then you will be in a good position to actually start the nutrients. But really, it's if you start the digestion, then you will start to see results. And that's the truth. She mentioned stomach pain, so I just quickly, like I said, at this point, I already know this is going long, so I'm trying to wrap it up. I want to identify the main problems early on and address them early on. So that was literally my first sentence there after the apology. Just digestion is our starting point. But then I just explained some things and I've brought it back to digestion now, up here working on digestion first. And now I said, if you ever have stomach pain, do the salt flush, pasted below, because I'm getting to the end. I'm getting to the point where I'm just pasting in our regular blurbs, just standard food protocol, and the salt flush, which we give to everyone. So I said, just do that if you have stomach pain, because it should stop the stomach pain. I didn't even say that, but it should. It's implied. And I said, do it immediately anyway, and tell me what happens, please. And I'm actually going to say that even again at the bottom, because she has a digestion problem and she's eating a lot of meat. I didn't specifically tell her that because she's a carnivore is why I want her to have a lot more salt, but I do want to know where she's at with her salt, and the salt flush will tell us. Told her about the waking up at night, especially to urinate, and teeth clenching. They're both symptoms of a blood sugar problem. Then I told her about my blood sugar book, gave her a link, told her she can buy it or see the free versions. Either way, she'll get the information, and she needs that because this is a book for her. This is all her problems are actually all summed up in that book. And I said it shouldn't be long before you can toss the mouth guard. Mouth guard is always optional anyways. I know it can be painful to wake up with a clenched jaw. Mouth guard does ease it, but it's up to you. You can throw it out at any time, and you shouldn't be grinding your teeth. Can't say exactly when it'll happen. If they are overweight, and she might need to lose the weight before she gets her full blood sugar result. But I imagine the teeth will stop grinding within a few weeks. It's reasonable. Cycles being off with your metabolic problem is very expected. Notice how blunt and brief I am being. I'm not giving them all the details, or this would be a multi-page essay. Estrogen is made from cholesterol, so I didn't go all textbook, but just gave another sentence here. Estrogen is made from cholesterol, which will not be absorbed properly with a gluten intolerance. So hammering this in, even though she's already started being gluten-free, just hammering this in. Just it can be easy to slip back. And hopefully she doesn't. Hopefully she knows how important this is, and that getting rid of the gluten will probably straighten most of this out. So I said this should normalize, not right away, but you should see changes in a few months or less. That is true. Menstruation problems do not usually iron themselves out in a week or two. Month one, no, not usually. Usually it takes a few months. Could take more, might be less. But I actually think she's an easy case, and I said that at the very end. So I said lightheaded is also a low blood sugar and dehydration. She mentioned that in her other information. Told her again, my blood sugar book has a dehydration chapter that brings all this together, which is true. She should really check that chapter out. And I said, the great news, not even good news, it's great news. Your problems are all in one category. That's true. It is great news. It sucks when they have problems in every category. That can be expensive too if you really want to give them the heavy hammer recommendation. If you want to target 4 different categories, it costs more money. She's got one problem. And starting with digestion is actually one of the cheapest ways to start. So fantastic. And I said briefly, healing from concussions would be the same advice I'm about to give you. And actually, that's what it would be. It would be the 90 essential nutrients with extra fat. If you look at our brain and heart pack or anything like that, it's extra fat, extra EFAs specifically, and extra selenium and its related nutrients. Selenium's a fat soluble mineral, key to healing the nervous system in general. And we get pretty excellent results with concussion people. So it would be the same recommendation. So her brain should improve. She had the brain fog and memory problems at the very top of her list. So I told her I expect good results. If you do this, then what's the then? I expect good results is the then. If you do this, the same advice I'm about to give you, I expect good results. And at the very bottom, I'm giving you a gluten-free pizza and bread video. It's true, I gave her those 2 videos that we have on Notice Foods YouTube. Those are very handy to have because we asked that question what their favorite food is, and I'd love to be able to show them their favorite food in a video. That's been our goal with the food accounts from the beginning, making all the common food that people can think of without the bad foods. And of course, that's why we put our cookbook out, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. If you do not have this book, I think you're doing it wrong because you can just send these people recipes, individual recipes. What do they love? Send them the recipe. So this is the end of my recommendation here. I said, you don't need to quit coffee, but the truth is you will be better off without it. That is true. And I just said dehydration chapter again, very brief. Oh, and I commented on the bread and the pizza. I said, you can have those things if you do it smart. And that is key. You don't need to completely cut out the fun parts of this modern world. We had pizza on the weekend. We did it smart. And I also said bread is one of the lowest sugar things we can bake, so it's better than most treats. This is true. A lot of cookies are calling for cups upon cups of sugar and muffins and Icing is just 2 parts sugar, 1 part butter, if you didn't know. It's a lot of sugar. Bread, I'm only using little tablespoon. I'm using 2 tablespoons, I think, for my 1 pound bread recipe. So you'd have to eat the entire bread to get 2 tablespoons, whereas you could get that in one regular cookie or muffin, right? So bread's not that bad. You can literally spice it up with spices and stuff, would add more nutrients to it as well. Some nutrients help to balance blood sugar spikes as well, which bread will spike your blood sugar. If it's even rice flour or anything like that, it'll still spike your blood sugar, even though it's not gluten. But cinnamon is one of those. There are other, you can look them up, herbs that are known to help with blood sugar. You toss them in your bread. They should help the metabolic load out. And you can put good stuff in your bread. I like to put dried fruits in my bread. In the past, people will put all kinds of things, including meats, in their breads. So you can have fun with this. It doesn't need to be outlawed, and you'll never get a good one in the grocery store probably, but you can make it easily, and that's why I shared those 2 videos. I got a pizza video and a bread video. They're both quick. Hopefully she likes them. And I told her basically I'm done. Okay, now I'm just pasting the digestion protocol video, our normal food blurbs, the salt flush, and digestion products. That's it. Now my recommendations are coming. I said, of course, this is a lot of information. This is a pretty key sentence. A lot of people can get overwhelmed. We give them a lot of information there. Even though this was quite brief, this was quite rapid fire here, actually. There's a lot of comments to be made on that list of problems, and it actually is a lot of information. This took me 20 minutes to sit down and type this out and stuff, read hers. And it's going to take her 20 minutes or more to sit down and digest this too. Some people print this out, put it on their wall and stuff. So definitely ask any questions anytime. Always, and keep the door open. And I told her the response is faster when it's not a whole protocol, which is true. If I have to sit down for 20 minutes or more to do a complicated protocol, and this isn't very complicated, it's just, you can tell that this person is engaged and involved and does have some problems, does want to know more, does want to do more. And the other person who recommended her to me, I'm sure he wants me to give her my best attention and advice. These people are in their 40s. I mean, they're mature. Speak to them mature and give them enough and not too much. It's a delicate balance. So I will respond faster if I don't have to do a whole protocol. Told her not to skip the salt flush, mentioned it again, and let me know what happens. It means I want to hear from her quickly, and if I don't, then I don't know what's up. This is the digestion protocol video here on the Wallach Warriors YouTube. I've been loving this video. This pack, the digestion pack number 2, with the 2 products, microbiome and nightly essence. I love this pack. This is by far my favorite starting recommendation at this moment in time. When I was making that video, I think it was right before that, or even as I was making the digestion protocol video, I made this pack. As I had this one digestion pack. It was just, I want other options. And I wanted something a little bit cheaper too. This is pretty heavy duty. But wow, this is heavy duty too. These 2 products, and they're very easy to take. This is only 1 scoop. This is only 2 capsules before bed, regardless of their body weight, which is another reason I like this. If you're 400 pounds, you don't need to buy 4 of these for the first month. Just these 2. Been getting incredible results with heavy people, skinny people. Oh, it doesn't matter. Love this pack. I still love this pack for other reasons. Check out the digestion protocol video. But I made up these packs because the regular longevity pack, it has the 90 essential nutrients in it too, which is a good idea. I understand why they did it that way, but I really don't want to overload people at first. I really do want them to implement the digestion protocol stuff. I do want them to get rid of gluten and use enough salt and all the other stuff in the digestion protocol video. I want them to start working on all that stuff and just get in some simple but powerful products. And when these run out, I want to now put in the 90 essential nutrients in some combination that makes sense for them. This also gives us a whole month to figure out what that is. So this is the recommendation. I want her to start with this simple recommendation. She's already off to a wicked start. She's already half gluten-free. That's fantastic. And these are our regular food blurbs. And I'm going to read them to you here because this is pretty good training. And it's brief as well, but it's packed. I said, avoid gluten 100%, period. That's wheat, barley, rye, oats, and quinoa is added to my list. I should also add buckwheat to this list because Dr. Wallach is telling me to put buckwheat on the list, and I trust him. But we say, pretend you're a celiac and Google what they can and can't eat. Smart for everyone to do that. We say, avoid all oils, deep fried, well done steak. I single out, right? We usually say well done red meat, but I single it out. Well done steak. Avoid well done steak. Your other meat, I don't care as much, but avoid well done steak. Anything burned, animal fats particularly, anything burned, bad. Margarine, bad. Processed meats, bad. I said it's best to avoid carbonated drinks in general, and especially not within 2 hours of eating. I also said skins of baked potatoes. Maybe I could have worded this more elegantly. Maybe I will edit this up. And I said, should also avoid processed sugar. I just said should. I didn't say you have to. I didn't say everybody has to completely quit sugar. A lot of people want us to say everybody should completely quit sugar. Sugar is the devil. Well, there's more to say on that. Check out my blood sugar book if you want more on that. The average person, for average results, which is good results, they don't have to quit sugar completely. If they're a sugaraholic, obviously they need to dial it down. They should be dialing it down anyways with the protocol. So I say this list can get longer, but these are the fundamentals, and it's true. It can get a lot more complicated, but that is pretty brief, even though it's not worded the best right now. In these two videos, number one is the 12 Bad Foods by Dr. Glidden, and the other one is the 12 Bad Foods by Chef Norman, explaining the basics of how to eat without the 12 bad foods. And of course, now we have the cookbook for that, which I mentioned here. Told her about the food page. These are resources we want them to have, especially the food page. We want them to know that you can message that account for advice. That's fantastic for them, especially a 47-year-old woman. I expect her to know how to cook. She probably does. So she's the type of person that would actually really use that account and actually watch those videos and actually do it, right? And the 16-year-old kid's probably not going to do that. Oh, these are just another little couple sentences. Good digestion means having strong stomach acid by using enough salt and avoiding carbonation with meals. This is just a little reiteration here. Again, these are our copy and paste blurbs. So if I say something in my regular answer, I don't really care if it repeats here. This is more concrete. These are here to stay. It means keeping the intestines not inflamed by avoiding gluten and other bad stuff in processed food. It's true. A little bit of an elementary way to put it, but it's true. Dr. Wallach will recommend really focusing on eggs in all of your meals for at least 90 days. Soft yolk, soft scrambled, soft boiled, poached, raw, period. And I say this because this is healing doses. I mean, we didn't specify a dose here, but we said focusing on eggs in all of your meals for at least 90 days. It's generally a great recommendation. And I know that she said that she was sensitive to eggs. I don't care. She's going carnivore anyways. What's she going to do without eggs? She needs eggs. Human beings eat eggs. If she can't do this right away, that's fine. I guess this is a little strict. But there's a lot of people who come to us with brain damage, dementias, all kinds of problems in the soft tissue category, which is largely dependent on the good fats, especially the cholesterol, which are in eggs. So eating a lot of eggs is a good healing diet in general. Even though some people have some problems with eggs, that's fine, but they should come back to this. That's why this is in the blurb. It should not be forgotten, even if they're not going to do it right away. And even if they're vegan and stuff, I didn't say do it. I said Dr. Wallach will recommend really focusing on eggs. This is going to be true. He's going to recommend it, whether you're vegan or not. You don't have to listen to it, but he's going to recommend it. Incorporating other sources of cholesterol and leaning towards the keto diet by replacing carbs and sugars with protein and fat is our main food recommendation. She's just started doing carnivore, so she's already kind of doing that by default, and I'm sure she's heard this before anyways. So this is the salt flush. And this is the part that I'm not going to read to you because we do have the salt flush video, which I also put in here. It's on the Wallach Warrior page here on YouTube. You can watch that salt flush video and understand the salt flush. And then I gave her those two videos, the pizza and the bread, and I said, that's it for now. Keep me updated, period. Signed off. That's it, because it was a lot already. I could tone my warmth up a little bit, but I think this was sufficient. And I hope this was good training for you guys. Keep it simple. You don't need to overwhelm people. If you see digestion as an obvious problem, I love to start with a digestion protocol. It is so simple. It is affordable, even for the heaviest of people, which of course are going to need the digestion protocol if they're very overweight anyways. So let's give them an affordable start here and let's start the progress. In future videos, we'll go into what to do next. But starting is most important always. That's a rule in this particular business. And that's what this video was about. And that's all I have for today. I appreciate you guys. See you next time.